Hey, Jason here. I'm one of the subject matter experts here at iCar. Today we're at the Appleton Tech Center, and we've been noticing that on a lot of newer vehicles, when you're working on the suspension, we've been seeing a lot of the fasteners not only have torque specs, but they've got a torque plus an angle spec after that. Along with that comes with a lot of one-time use fasteners as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So if you're familiar with engine building, you may recognize this. It's a mechanical type angle meter that you can use. A lot of times that's on a suspension system that may be way too bulky to get in there. An electronic torque wrench like this comes in handy where you can actually program in the angle that you want. One thing to note is if you've got a tricky spot where you've got to use a torque extender, it needs to be at 180 degrees alignment with the torque wrench in order to get an accurate angle measurement. One thing to note about electronic torque wrenches is when you're applying the angle, you don't want to exceed the maximum torque capability of the tool, or it will just error out partway through your angle and then you won't be able to complete your angle sweep. So I'm just going to demonstrate on this car now how this works. I looked up the service information and it's listed as first pass and second pass on the fastener. So the first pass is the torque setting, and for this vehicle it's 22 pound-feet. After you reach the 22 pound-feet, then you have to torque it to a second pass, and the second pass spec is 120 to 130 degrees. So some tools have it where you can set it up, where you can set the 22 and the 120 all at once. So you can just put the wrench on the fastener once and go. That's helpful for like engine building and stuff where you're doing a whole bunch of fasteners with the same spec. For this, I'm just going to set them separately. I'm going to set the 22 pound-feet first, torque it to the spec, then I'll come back and set the angle to 120 degrees and go back and do that. So when working on these vehicles, especially suspension, it's really important to reference the vehicle service information to find out what fasteners can be reused and what fasteners you have to throw in the garbage and replace with new ones. Torquing with an angle spec after them many times are called torque to yield bolts or fasteners, which means when you apply that angle to them, you're stretching the bolt, and if you try to reuse it, the bolt is permanently stretched and it could break when you go to reinstall it, or worse yet, it could break while the car is going down the road, which nobody wants that. So it's really important to replace bolts that are one-time use. You might wonder how a tie rod can have an angle spec on it and be able to be reused. Well, the engineers can figure it out where the point of elasticity is in that part, and the specs on that only take it to that or below the point of elasticity. So when you take that bolt back off or take the nut off, you are able to reuse it because you haven't stretched it beyond its point of elasticity. I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching.